Okay, 2 more games to get through. Thanks for joining us on a 3. If you made it this far, you might as well just see it through. 2 more matches for us to make some picks, Lisa. Let's start with Racing Louisville FC versus OL Reign. This one kicking off on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You can watch the action on Paramount Plus. OL Reign coming off of a banger of a game. Bethany Balser, Jess Fishlock, each of those players recording a brace in that game. Megan Rapinoe starting to build up those minutes, getting a goal off of a set piece as well. Racing Louisville finally had their unbeaten streak snapped, but it went the other way. It went in the form of a loss, which we had a feeling maybe it might go that way. So no longer an unbeaten team. In fact, they're coming off of a loss now. Is this the game where they finally pick up that win, or has OL Reign finally figured it all out and are just going to be unstoppable from here on out?
Unstoppable OL Reign. Yeah, I mean, they started the year with a loss, and that was against Washington. And I think that first week is never very indicative of how the rest of the season is going to go. And that is the same for OL Reign, because since then they have just found their form, continuing to pick up win after win after win. Their third straight win against the Red Stars, and they, as you just said, 5 goals for Laura Harvey's side. 5 goals that they scored in that game. Yes, they conceded 2 to the Red Stars, but when you're scoring 5 and putting them away, it's incredibly hard to stop you and slow you down. You also mentioned Megan Rapinoe. We're starting to see more and more minutes from her. And by more and more minutes, I mean like 15, 20.
Yeah.
We're not at like
It's
it's more and more in terms of like we're increasing in increments of like 5 every time we see her. But the fact that Rapinoe can still step on the pitch for about 15 minutes for Laura Harvey's side and find the back of the net shows you how influential this type of player is, and that's Rapinoe. And then you throw her alongside a Balser, Fishlock, Vander Yacht. I've also been really impressed with Olivia Vander Yacht for OL Reign. This is a team that's just continuously grown, and they look like a team on a mission to win the Shield and to win a regular season, and they have no plans to slow down at this point. Now, Racing Louisville, they did make a trade this past week with Washington Spirit. They got midfielder Jordan Baggett, a veteran in this league, who I think we could maybe see get time. I know she was trying to get into training this week for Racing Louisville before this game. It is at home for Louisville. It's at Lynn Family Stadium. Which makes me think that if we were going to see Baggett, it would be at home, just because there's less travel that needs to happen. I'm not so sure about it, though. I think that between these two sides, I think OL Reign is going to get the win, but Racing Louisville could put up a fight. I don't think it'll be another 5-goal banger for OL Reign. You look at who Racing has in goal, with Katie Lund. This is a player that has been a tremendous brick wall for this team, facing shot after shot after shot. Ari Borges also looking to find a bit of a rhythm for Racing Louisville. There's a lot of good pieces at Louisville, so I think this will actually be a really good game between these sides, despite OL Reign coming out with a win at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm agree. I'm with you on this. I think, look, one of the things that I think that we keep in the back of our minds when we are trying to make these picks. We go earlier in the week. We do these picks ahead of when we typically have access to team availability reports. So I am curious around who might be available
Right.
to go in this game specifically for OL Reign. We haven't seen Rose Lavelle, in a couple of weeks. Is this the game where she gets back to it with the Reign? How severe or not severe is this knock? Right? Is she going to get some is she back to a point where she can get some minutes again for Racing Louisville? We've seen the return of Jalen Howell, and this is a player who's also been building on her minutes with the team as well. Is it going to come down to those midfield trios or midfield shapes, depending on formation and how we see? I mean, Vander Yacht was unavailable, and I believe it was excused absence in the previous game. She going to be available to go in this match? And I think if she is, I think that's going to offset a lot of things in that middle third, because I'm with you. I'm very high on that player as well. I think she's a kind of introducing herself to maybe some folks out there, some casual fans who aren't super familiar with her game yet, as a potential really strong six in this league. So if she is she going to be available? Quinn coming out with a really what looked like a really tough ankle roll.
Injury.
They may
Yeah.
not be available in this game. So the players who make the difference for OL Reign if they're not available, and who we're going to see. But I think maybe we'll have the return of Evander Ye. Maybe we'll get to see more minutes from Megan Rapinoe. We're at 32, I think
Yeah.
that's found right now. Maybe we'll see like a 45 in this one. But I kind of want to see the goals. I think we're going to get another heavy scoreline
I don't
in this
know.
one, but
I don't know.
I
Fallon
still think
Tillis-Joyce, Katie Lund. I don't know,
let me
Sandra.
see it. Let me want it. Let me yearn
Fine,
for it.
fine.
Let
You
me
can
yearn
want it,
for
but
it.
I'm gonna go against you. I'm gonna say narrow score line.
All right, look, either way, we're still going for the rain in this one, whether it's wild or whether it's narrow. I think we both are making a similar pick in this one as well. I just think that there's more in the arsenal for Laura Harvey and her team, and I just think when it comes down to the head-to-head coaching battle as well, Harvey is going to have more for her team to go after Bjorkgren and his racing side.
Yeah, I respect that completely. I like that you're manifesting goals out there. I just don't think it's going to happen with the defenders and the side. But we love a fun fact and we love stats here. I love them and I love my fun facts. So this game for Racing Louisville and OL Reign is kicking off Saturday at 7:30 Eastern time, and it will be the 1,000th game in NWSL history, regular season league history. So this is also a little caveat there, including the 2021 forfeit games that happened, but still 1,000th NWSL game. Very cool between these two sides. So a little bit of history being made in Racing Louisville.
All the more reason for this game to be a wild scoreline. Let's fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll get to see it. We've got one more game to make some picks. We've got Kansas City Current versus New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. This one closing things out on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. You could catch all the action. You know where. You could catch it on Paramount Plus. Let's make some picks. Lisa, we've made similar picks all the way through this rundown of content. I'm gonna just say it. I saved my draw for this game.
Oh gosh,
Don't tell me you're
Sandra.
feeling the same way.
Yeah, honestly.
All right.
I
Well, let's talk about
maybe
why.
I'll change it now just because of this.
All right, well, let's talk about why. Here's
Okay.
why I'm keeping it a draw. And maybe there will be something inside of this where you're like, you know what? I hear your case and I'm going this way instead. Look, Kansas City Current are not the same team that they were a few weeks ago. They have a new interim head coach in Caroline Quablom, and Debinha is looking like she is now in a place where she's comfortable playing with her new team, generating and creating and scoring goals with Kansas City Current. And I think when you're looking at Gotham, maybe you offset that a little bit with another very good creative attacking player in Lynn Williams, who has not only been delivering goals, but she has been a killer about it. We're talking late stages of the game, and we're maybe starting from the final 15 minutes of regulation into stoppage time. It's almost like you look at Lynn Williams and you say, that's our game killer. Let's make sure we get her the ball. So I'm looking at these two players to have another big role in this match against each other as they go head to head. But even though I think we'll see some exciting soccer, I think this one's got the makings of a draw in it.
Yeah, so I also had a draw, but I'm gonna switch it because we can't go literally
We just
6 for
can't.
6 on this. And that's okay because a draw can frankly go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with a draw though, as you just mentioned, the form that both of these sides are in. But Kansas City, they got their first win, regular season win last week at Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City under Caroline Quablom as the interim head coach. And there's a new freshness about this team. They're back at home against Gotham this week. Kansas City's getting back-to-back home wins against Gotham. That's what I'm going to go with. Kansas City in this side. You're exactly right, though. Lynn Williams proves to be a late game force for Gotham. And I think that Gotham will put up a really big fight against this team. However, with Kansas City, their current form, Haley Mace and what she's been able to do, CC Kaiser, Dabinia, as you mentioned and you talked about, there's a lot of good pieces coming together for Kansas City. They haven't had to travel. They get to chill at home. There's a lot of people in Kansas City right now. It's the NFL draft happening there. So the city is buzzing. The fans are going to be around Children's Mercy Park. They're going to be ready. I'm going to give it all vibes to Kansas City
I like that. Point. You're going with energy as the X factor. I love that for you, but I also wanted on record that you were going to have it as a draw. We'll see how it shakes out. We took to the last game to finally have a little bit of parity. Look, I love it. I love it. Let's make as many similar picks as we can throughout the duration of the season. And we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Good or bad.
And we'll see how bad it is in the recap. That's all we've got for our week 5 preview. Thank you all so much for listening to us on Attacking Third. As always, make sure you download, follow, listen to us